And it's very pertinent to this particular situation. So I am willingly obliged to do that this morning. So from next week we'll continue the episode between Mother Parvati and Sri Ram and Lord Shiva. So today, for this purpose, we're going to do this situation, the passing of Raja Dasarath. So Raja Dasarath had passed away, and the Guru, it is very important, the Guru is very, very important in this occasion. Because when one faces the death of a very close and dear one, there's a great deal of trauma in the family. And at that point in time, you need someone to come to stabilize the mind of the people, of the family. And here is where the Guru comes in. So, the Guru of that Raghukul dynasty was Guru Vasishtha, and he had come to the home after the passing of Raja Dasarath, and he begins to talk to the family. What did he say to them? Tulsidas tells them, but before so doing, let us first invoke the presence of Sri Hanuman. Principal Siyavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki jai, Umapati Mahadeva ki jai, Pavan Sita Hanuman ki jai. Principal Pavan Putra Hanuman ki jai. आइए हनुमंत विराजिए, कथा कहो मति अनुसार, प्रेम सहित गजीधर पधारिए पवन कुमार, सियावर रामचंद्र जी की जय, शरणम शंकर हरि ओम. Come Hanuman, I'm about to recite Sri Katha as far as my knowledge permits me. Please come and be seated. Have a most prestigious seat amongst us. Deep within the roots of our hearts, O Sri Hanuman. And give us the wisdom and the intelligence to expound Sri Ram's Katha. And I know it is the words of Sri Ram's Katha that brings a special delight to you. And wherever his Katha is read, you are most present. Please let that energy be radiated throughout this Monday this morning, and may it fill our hearts with your divine love and devotion. Prem se do, Pavan Putra Hanuman ki jai. So Guru Vasishtha, together all the Brahmins, they came to this house, having heard or learned that Raja Dasarath has passed on. And as normal, the Guru is all wise. He's knowledgeable. He knows how to handle the situation. What kind of advice does he give them? How does he speak to them? Tulsidas tells us in this doha. family facing this problem of the passing of the father, of the king of Ayodhya. Bharat is deeply distraught. Everybody is in a very solemn, sad state. The Guru comes. Everybody looks up to the Guru for guidance, especially in a situation like this. So he says, Tata hriday dhiraj karahu jo avasar aju. He tells Bharat and all those who are there, take courage, my dear son. See how he addresses Bharat? My dear son, take courage and do what the occasion demands today. When that happens, we just can't give up. It's a normal part and parcel of life. We cannot change that. From time immemorial, once we take birth, death is a necessary end. And just as we are prepared and happy when birth takes place, we have to prepare to negotiate the circumstances when death occurs. So he says, take courage, my son, and do what the occasion demands today. You can't just sit down. If everybody sit down and just have to mourn, nothing will happen. The dead will be perishing there. And everybody is living in abeyance, doing nothing. So he says, Uthe Bharat Guru Bachana Suni. Uthe Bharat. The moment he heard the Godfather's word, Uthe Bharat, he got up. He's ready to do whatever is necessary. Uthe Bharat Guru Bachana Suni. Guru Bachana is the words of the Guru. The moment he heard the words of the Guru, immediately he got up and he's ready to act. Karana Kaheu Sab Aju. Bharat arose and ordered everything to be made ready. He got everybody. He gave instructions from the Guru. This is what to be done. We must all do it. And everybody collectively is about to do what is necessary. You see the power of the Guru? You see the power of his words? Everybody forgot now the whole situation. There is work to be done. Let us all get together and do what has to be done. And that is the power of the Guru. So in short, by Tulsidas sings. Nirpatanu Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Ram Nirpatanu Veda Vidita Bhava Parama Vidita Bhava Veda Vidita Anhavawa Parama Vichitra Bimanu Banawa. So immediately they had the king's body washed. He bathed the body in accordance with the rites prescribed in the Vedas. There are certain rituals, certain prayers to be recited when bathing the body. So accordingly they did all of that. And Parama Vichitra Bimanu Banawa. They built a very beautiful funeral pyre. So they had that. In other words, the body would be cremated. So they built that. They had that well prepared. Gahi pag bharat matu sab rakhi rahi rama darasan abhilasha. They're saying they clasped the feet of all the queens, all the mothers. That is Sumitra, Kekai, and Kaushalya. The remaining one, Sri Rama's mother. So they went and they clasped the feet of all the queens. Bharat bid them stay. At one point in time in India, when the husband dies, the wife goes on the pyre. And she cremates herself, living as she is. They will call that Prati Bata Dharma. And that practice has now been discarded. Because if a woman gets married and let's say her husband dies in a year's time or less than a year, she's young, she's all life. And I was wondering what is the wisdom in having a person who has not even had life to simply go and give away life. But that's another discussion. But that was the custom in those days, in those olden times, that the wife goes on the pyre and she cremates herself with the husband. So they begged them, do not go on the pyre. They actually begged them, because this is what they would have done. And they all stayed in the hope of seeing Rama, because when Raja Dasarath died, Sriram was in banishment. So when they told her, you all remain, do not go on the pyre, the courage that they had, that in the coming years, 14 years, we will be able to bless our eyes on Sri Ram. So one would discard everything when you have the hope of seeing God. When there is that hope that God is coming, you will do anything and everything possible. Whatever you have to ward off, you do that in order to keep your focus, because I am expecting to see my Lord at so and so point in time. And that is what kept Syria alive. Syria was very youthful when she went to that ashram. And you know what time she saw Sri Ram? When she was old and grey. So that vision doesn't come just like that. It comes when you are fully prepared, when you are fully engrossed, and there is nothing else that occupies the mind save and except the lotus feet of the Lord. That time the Lord comes. So one has to be prepared for that. So what kept the queens alive is, our son will be back in 14 years. So this is the courage that they had. So in Tawbal Tusidasins. Chandan agar bhar bahu aaye, amita anek sugandh suhaye. So they were going to build this fire. So they bought all different types of woods. The loads of woods arrived: sandalwood, aloes, countless kinds of other excellent aromatic herbs. Now, the human being, you just don't dispose of the body like when a dog dies. When a dog dies, you do not go and have wake. You don't have prayers and all this type of thing. That doesn't happen. But when the human being dies, everybody goes to the wake. And do you know you have a purpose for going there? Not to just go and tell the family, look, accept my sympathy. No. There is much more for you to do. As a human being, when you go there, your purpose there is to offer prayers on behalf of that departed soul. Because all of us will be traveling that road one day. So in your own way, when you go there, your purpose is, my Lord, accept this body. Take charge of him. That is your prayer. That's why you go there. Not to just say, accept my sympathy. You could say that for both. But your purpose of going there is more than that. To offer your prayers on behalf of that departed soul. So, that is why when you get rid of the body, the human body is the highest of the Lord's creation. So that when it is to be disposed of, certain rituals must be performed. That's why we are human beings. So they got all these various types of wood, aromatic herbs and so on, so as to make this fire. And Sarajutir Ratichita Banai, Sarajutir, on the banks of the river Sarju, they built this beautiful fire. Janusura Purusopana Suhai. Tusidasa said, it looks like a lovely ladder reaching to heaven. It is the king that they are going to cremate. So even that chitta, that thing that they are building, the fire, is so beautifully made. You can imagine, their king was dearly loved. Everybody loved Dasarath. So they take a special pride even in building that which would get rid of the body. That fire, which will be lit and get rid of the body. Even that they built with such grace, such love, such devotion. Especially. So even that, looks so beautiful. So in Chobai, Tusidas tells us. Two more Duhan or Chobai. Chobai and Duhan. Jaha jas Ehi bidhidah kriya sabakinha bidhivata myahi tilanjali dina. No, it's tilanjali what we offer. Just over there, that is tilanjali. So all the rites of cremation was performed, observed. There was nothing, and that is the rites that we observe when our parents pass. And it was followed by the ceremonial bathing, of the funeral party. All those who went there, they went and they had a bath and they offered handfuls of water, right, silanjali, mixed with sesame seed and to the departed soul. What is sesame seed? That black till. Right? Now, there's a reason for using that. That says, no matter how many years pass with that seed, whenever you plant it, the strain doesn't change. It's the same. The symbolism here is that in this lineage that we have come from, we must not stray. It must be the same. That heritage must be transformed and carried through this lineage at all times. And that is the symbolic meaning of that sesame seed. Sometimes you go somewhere and you see a plant. I want to get a seed from that. And you take the seed and you plant it. But when you got your fruits, it is not like the one that you ate. Because it was watered down somehow. It loses originality. The sesame seed does not lose its originality, regardless of how many times you replant. So in the same way, we do not want to lose that quality of life, that lineage, that capability of spirituality and everything. We don't want to lose that. That must be carried on from generation to generation. And that's the importance of that sesame seed. So they had a bath, and everybody else went and they performed, they offered the tilanjali. Sodhi sumriti sab veda purana kinha bharat dasagatra vidhana. So Tulsidas is saying, they taught now of the views of the Smriti and the texts, all the various religious texts. They're talking about the Vedas, Puranas, and they made the 10 days offering to the departed soul. The ceremony called Dasarath consists of offering the departed soul a bowl of boiled rice on each of the 10 days following the cremation of the deceased. Remember, Pandu was talking about following the cremation of the deceased. Right. If 10 days afterwards, that is from the next dawn, after the body has been cremated, you begin to offer 10 days henceforth.
And just to interject right there, it's not the day of the death.
Right.
It's a lot of pundits, and I don't know they're making this mistake. It's
right.
there in the Quran and everything else.
Right.
After the cremation,
many,
come the days.
So this is from the text as we have it, right? This is what it says. So this is what they did. The ceremony of Dasarath consists of offering to the departed soul a bowl of boiled rice on each of the 10 days following the cremation. So on that 10th day, after you offer the 10th, a body is formed to transport that soul.
So the subtle body.
The subtle body. Right? So that is the vehicle that the soul uses to travel onto that platform for judgment. So we go on to the next shopai, the last shopai for you, what Tulsidas says.
Muniwara Ayasudinha Tahatasa Sahas Bhati Sabukinha. Whatever order the sage gave to them, he gave them certain instructions. That's Guru Vajish. He gave this instruction to Bharat and all those who did. So whatever order he gave, the sage gave, Tulsidas says, they did all that many times over. Bharat ensures it is for the love of my father that I am doing this. And whatever advice he was given, he did that. If they say give 10, he gave him 20. You understand what I'm talking about? He goes more than what was required of him. That is kind of love. Bharat carried out 1,000 times over. So more than what the Guru gave him. He is doing that even. That is because of the sheer love of his father. And to boot, he was not there when his father passed. And when he learned of the circumstances surrounding his death, he was deeply distraught. He and his mother had a serious problem. And that's a special lesson. So Bharat did whatever was told to him many times more. Bhaye Visuddha Diye Sabadana Dhenu Bhaji Gaj Bahanana. So what he did? He bestowed abundant gifts to all on attaining this state of purity. Purity is when the 10-day over, you do the whatever the Shiva and so on, then you do the Bandara. That after that time the home is now purified. So after attaining that state, he gave gifts. Tulsidas is saying, he gave gifts on attaining purity. It is believed. Hindus have believed that the agnates, they call them the relatives of the fathers. All those relations, what they do, these people and certain other relations, that the deceased ones, they remain impure for a number of days and are purified only after the prescribed period is over. That is why in the home you will not do any kind of prayers. You do your individual prayer, but you don't do any kind of prayers and whatnot. Because the home is not yet sanctified. But after having completed 10 days, when you do that Krishna Puja, this home is now sanctified. And then you can proceed to do yourself. Some people don't do anything for a whole year. But that is certain beliefs. But once the whole, if you could perform Krishna Puja on the Bandara day, why can't you do it a week afterwards?
That's right.
Why can't you do it? The same God Almighty you invited, you did prayers, you made Mahan Bhog and everything. Why can't you do it subsequent to that? Why do you have to wait a year? But it's convenient for a lot of people, I have to do this. That's the convenience. You want to get away from that. So, Tulsidas says, Dhenu Bhaji Gaj Bahanana. He gave away cows. He gave away horses. He gave away elephants and all kinds of carriages. Now, he gave that because he is a king and he could afford that. It is said that when it is good to give gifts on behalf of the departed. My Lord, I am giving these gifts on behalf of my departed father. If in any way this can help, I am asking that you know what to do. So it's good to give gifts on behalf of the departed. But you give what you can afford. We can afford elephant and horses and so on. He is a king. He could afford that. He could give so many things, land and etc. etc. We give what you can give: clothing, you can give money, all that is within your ambit. Whatever you can give, you give that. The Lord knows. But when you give with a pure heart. That is the important thing. So, in Doha, I bring a lesson to end this morning in Doha Tulsidas sings. Some more things that he gave away, Tulsidas sings. Ramayan. Singhasana Bhushana Basan Anadharani Dhanadham. He gave away thrones, Singhasan. Thrones he gave away. He gave away ornaments. He gave away costumes. He gave away jewelry and so on. Food grains, and he gave away land, money and houses. That is within his capability. He could have given that and more. We give what we can afford. Diye bharat lahi bhumisara be paripurana kam. The Brahmins, all those who gave, were well contented. They were extremely happy with what they received, and they were very contented on receiving them. And they themselves will offer their blessings. When you treat people well, they offer blessings to you that you don't even know. Sometimes a man is hungry on the road and you just give him something to eat.